We continue our countdown of the top 10 players in the hobby for the 2021 Major League Baseball season, and we've reached our number 2 spot. And today we're talking about the 21-year-old who had one of the greatest hitting seasons of all time in 2020. What's up, everybody? Cody back with you. We have reached our top 2 players in the hobby and on the field for the Major League Baseball season. In our number 2 spot, he is one of the hottest names in the hobby. He's already got a World Series, and he led the league in pretty much everything last season. Washington Nationals phenom Juan Soto is our number 2 player. If you've watched our countdown since the beginning, you've heard me spout out a bunch of hyperbole about some of baseball's best young stars. Well, let me throw one more at you. If healthy, Juan Soto could become the greatest hitter baseball has ever seen. If that sounds like the kind of reactionary hot take that's reserved for the likes of Skip Bayless, well, you're not wrong. The only difference is Skip wouldn't say that because they don't pay him enough to actually talk about baseball, apparently. But the thing is, I'm not the only one who feels this way about Juan Soto. Far from it. Take this recent article from Jay Jaffe at FanGraphs, which presented the ZiPS projection for Soto through his age 36 season. And the numbers are staggering. He'd rank in the top 15 all time in almost every major offensive category. And for a less accurate, but maybe more fun projection, let's go to my franchise mode on Baseball Simulator Out of the Park Baseball 2021, which I played up to the year 2050 because I'm sick and like it when video games make me face my own mortality, apparently. But let's take a look at how Soto's career played out in the digital world, and we see that, oh my God, it projects he'll hit 801 home runs. All right, so maybe he's not going to be joining the likes of Sadaharu O as the only players to hit 800 home runs in their career, but he does still have a fantastic chance of becoming an all-time great. And the trading card community seems to agree. Soto's card market has exploded over the past year. And at this point, only Mike Trout is ahead of him among the most wanted players in modern baseball cards. If you haven't been paying close enough attention to Soto's career so far, maybe this comes as a bit of a surprise. But that's kind of the story of Juan Soto's rise. He always seems to defy expectations in the most historic fashion possible. He never ranked higher than 56th on Baseball America's top prospects list. And yet he skipped AAA ball entirely and went straight to the majors. He was expected to be part of a Nationals rebuild upon Bryce Harper's departure in 2019, and instead, he had one of the best seasons from a 20-year-old in Major League history and helped lead the Nationals to their first World Series title in franchise history. And in 2020, in a packed field of must-see young superstars, Soto stood out with one of the greatest hitting seasons we've ever seen, regardless of age. No one in baseball was a more complete hitter than Juan Soto in 2020, where he finished first in the majors in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS, becoming the youngest player in the World Series era to lead the league in those 3 categories. His .212 OPS Plus was the 28th best in a single season in Major League history, and he's just the 31st baseball player in history with a minimum of 190 plate appearances to have an OPS Plus of 200 or better in a single season. His .490 on-base percentage was the best mark since Barry Bonds' .480 on-base percentage in 2007. And when you project his intentional walk total over 162 games, he would have had the most intentional free passes in a single season since Albert Pujols back in 2009. And maybe the most remarkable stat for Juan Soto, in the 47 games he played in 2020, there were a grand total of 4 where he didn't reach base at all. It's easy to get amped about those numbers and hail Juan Soto as baseball's next great player after those 47 games. But therein lies the problem. 47 games is not a lot of baseball. And I've said it before on this countdown, if we're not going to judge a player based off of a bad 2020 season, the same rule applies for someone at the opposite side of the spectrum like Juan Soto. But even if we're anticipating a drop-off for Soto in 2021, which is likely, he'd still be in elite company. Let's just take Baseball Reference's projections for Soto in 2021 and see where that would place him in baseball history. I'm too lazy and stupid to do the hard math, so let's just add his hits, home runs, and walks to his career total, and we come up with this. So let's take a look at which players in MLB history have reached at least 450 hits, 95 home runs, and 315 walks by their age 22 season. We've got Mel Ott, and that's it. That's the list. And Soto has a great shot to reach those numbers in 800 fewer plate appearances than Ott did. And Mel Ott isn't the only Hall of Famer that Soto is already in the same company with. His 151 career OPS plus through his age 21 season is the 6th best in MLB history. And among that group, only Trout and Soto had 60 plus home runs in that span. All things considered, it's no wonder that Soto has captured the imagination of baseball fans and of collectors. Even if worst comes to worst and those fears about the sports card bubble popping come to fruition, I'd still feel pretty confident about Juan Soto's long-term value as long as he continues to make history like he's been doing so far. He's the same age or younger than more than half of MLB Pipeline's top 20 prospects for 2021, and he might be the best all-around hitter in baseball right now. It's mind-boggling to even try and figure out what this kid's gonna accomplish when he enters his prime. Of all the guys on our list, Soto is the player whose future I'm most excited about. He has the plate approach of a Hall of Famer in their prime, while most players his age are still just trying to figure out the strike zone at the major league level. Even Mike Trout can't compare. Soto, along with Ted Williams, are the only players to average at least 400 plate appearances and maintain an on-base percentage of .415 or better through their age 21 season. You could gripe about his lack of speed, his average defensive performance, or even the chance that eventually he bolts out of Washington for a record payday in the future. But the fact is, Major League Baseball has only seen a player the likes of Juan Soto a few times before. So whether he hits a projected 562 home runs, or he turns into a video game and breaks the home run record by over 40, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Juan Soto join the likes of Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle, and Ken Griffey Jr. as one of the most coveted and sought-after superstars in baseball card history. That's going to do it for today. Later this week, we wrap up our top 10 list and reveal our number 1 player, Mike Trout. I wasn't supposed to say that, but come on. You knew it was going to be Mike Trout, right? Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Mojobreak Media for more content all throughout the Major League Baseball season and beyond.